welcome to this explainer. Okay, I want you to picture your last group meeting. Was it quiet? Like, did everyone just kind of nod along and agree? We often think a perfectly agreeable room is the ultimate sign of a successful meeting. But actually, I'm going to challenge that instinct right out of the gate. What if I told you that avoiding friction might literally be the very thing holding your team back from doing its absolute best work?
Okay, let's dive into this. Traditionally, we've always viewed conflict as a massive failure, right? Like a total breach of the ground rules where any tension just has to be suppressed so we can keep the peace. But the Facilitators Guild offers a total paradigm shift here. They say we need to treat conflict as data. Disagreement isn't some glitch in the matrix. It's completely normal and honestly, it's healthy. When we reframe tension this way, it actually becomes this incredibly valuable diagnostic tool. It reveals the underlying values and interests that a group desperately needs to address if they actually want to grow.
So the crucial point is understanding what the Guild calls Domain E, conflict navigation. This is literally the ability to intervene strategically when tension inevitably bubbles up. And strategically is definitely the key word here. Great facilitators, they don't just shut down disagreements to force this fake harmony. Instead, they step in wisely to maintain a safe space for dissent. They treat that friction as absolutely pure, valuable information.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is seeing how this looks in practice, because it totally adapts depending on your environment. Like, if you're leading strategic planning or board governance, your focus is on channeling productive dissent. Making sure those minority voices are actually heard without totally derailing the meeting. But shift over to team building, and the application completely changes. Over there, it becomes all about safely mediating interpersonal friction, de-escalating those heated emotional charges, and actively repairing relationships. It just proves how incredibly versatile conflict navigation really is. Let's move on and see how this builds, because mastering this definitely isn't an overnight process. It's a clear developmental journey. Starting out as an apprentice, your focus is really just on early recognition. You're simply spotting and naming those minor tensions before they blow up. Then, as you evolve into an artisan, you step up to adaptive intervention. This is where you act as a power broker to actively de-escalate polarization. And finally, at the fellow level, you're doing transformative mediation. This is the masterclass, where you're navigating high-stakes, systemic disputes and repairing deep relationship ruptures.
So I want to leave you with this really provocative question. If you stop avoiding conflict, what breakthrough could your group achieve today? Seriously, take a second and think about that. The exact moment you stop suppressing tension and start treating it as raw data, you unlock a completely new level of group potential.
And this brilliantly illustrates our final takeaway. If you want to master this craft and learn how to turn that tension into real, tangible progress, you should absolutely consider joining and supporting the Facilitators Guild. It's the best way to transform group friction into breakthrough growth. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer today, and remember, don't fear the friction.